Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rohina Prasad. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker, Dr. Pooja Khanna, who is going to enlighten us with her knowledge. Before that, I would like to say a few words about her. She is professor in the Department of English, Aditi Mahavidyalaya, University, Delhi. She is been teaching English language and literature here for over 15 years. She has been actively involved in creating e-lessons for English language at a Institute of Life Language Learning during her tenure as a fellow South Campus University of Delhi. Some of her publications are English language, English literature, effective business communication. As principal investigator, she successfully completed projects enlightened AM 101 Bridge the Gap of uh, common with 10 lakh received from the University of Delhi, guided 10 undergraduate students. In addition, she published 17 research. So I would like to welcome Ms. Pooja Khanna ma'am to speak few words. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. I hope I'm audible to everybody. Thank you so much. So a very good afternoon to all the members of this August Assembly. It is indeed my honor and privilege to share the platform with some of the most illumined minds who form the distinguished panel of this international conference. A special word of appreciation for the organizing committee and the Achievers Foundation for English Studies in particular for this wonderful initiative, and also to the Government College of Una and the Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology, Gorakhpur, in partnering for this fine project. My gratitude to Professor Dr. Sanjay Prasad Pandey for considering me worthy of this presentation and his kindness in conceding to all my requests. Thank you so much, sir. The topic of this conference, Exploring Digital Humanity, Challenges and Opportunities, is not only intriguing, but also very relevant in a world that has just emerged from the unprecedented pandemic, COVID-19, that spread its tentacles across the globe and caused a massive dent to the education sector. We have seen desperate times that called for desperate measures because online teaching and learning was just thrust upon the teacher and the taught without any prior preparation and training. Computer-mediated teaching became a norm, and language teaching underwent metamorphosis as we reluctantly saw the emergence of a transformative phase invaded by digital technology. Language teaching, which calls for energetic interaction and two-way communication, suddenly became restricted to empty, blank, staring screens, opposite to its quintessential existence. I think science and commerce streams assumably had a very seamless transition, but humanities struggled to adopt and integrate digital pedagogy. English language and literature explored very hesitatingly a substantive place amidst digital humanities. Today, I will try to briefly delve on how language teaching evolved when it was at the crossroads of a crisis, and how English language teaching fraternity imbibed pedagogic changes in the face of stiff challenges of COVID-19 that called for urgent intervention to evolve the teaching learning process. I will try to redefine the pedagogy for English language teaching and learning and examine the role of digital humanities as the way forward. Now, if we dissect the term, we realize that digital humanities is a broad area of multidisciplinary intellectual activity and research. It combines the scientifically developed software with humanities and social sciences, resulting in a collaboration between two streams which are often considered two ends of a spectrum. Humanities as a discipline focuses on fine arts, like literature, music, dance, theater, philosophy, and other expressions of human culture. Whereas digitization is a branch of computing that deals with understanding the binary code, the digital file formats, analog material, and calculative aspects such as encoding and decoding. John Drucker rightly remarked that digital humanities is a work at the intersection of digital technology and humanities disciplines. Now, this association provides unique insights into the scientific computing aided by sociological, political, and cultural issues related to humanities. It covers the analysis of how digital resources are applied as well as their systematic utilization in the humanities. With the understanding that the printed word is no longer the primary medium for knowledge generation and diffusion, it introduces digital tools and methodologies to the study of humanities. Now, we all know that digital humanities as a discipline is considered highly systematic and interdisciplinary in scope. The history of the subject dates to 1940s when computers first became a part of academic research and studies. But in the last few decades, it has become a prominent topic of discussion due to the increased dependence of education on computers. In fact, nowadays, the presentation of data, its analysis, its synthesis are all done in the electronic form. As a result, it is impossible to separate the study of humanities from digitization and online platforms. Not only this, the traditional ideas of knowledge in arts, humanities, and social sciences have been enlarged by digital tools, techniques, and media. So digital humanities is not just about the study of the digital aspect. Similarly, digital humanities is not just about the humanities as they have historically been understood. Instead, the phrase digital humanities refers to the new opportunities that have arisen due to the union of the terms digital and humanities. This is almost antithetical coinage that has called for remapping of predictable concepts and definitions. The new opportunities, including redrawing the boundaries between social sciences and natural sciences, developing new modes of inquiry and knowledge production, and revitalizing those that have been abandoned. They also include educating future generations of humanists through practical, project-based learning as an addition to traditional classroom practices. Now let us try to understand the genesis of the term. The term digital humanities was coined by Padre Roberto Busa, an Italian working at IBM in 1949. In 2004, Busa wrote a foreword to a book entitled A Companion to Digital Humanities, which was published by Blackwell Publishers. This book made the term digital humanities a part of modern vocabulary. Busa described the history of digital humanities as the history of miniaturization. Digital humanities was first interpreted as computing of humanities, but over the years, it developed into the present concept of digital humanities. It is not a unified field, but an array of convergent practices that explore a multimedia universe. In this universe, supremacy of the printed word is challenged, and it is no longer considered the exclusive medium to produce and disseminate knowledge. Integrating digital humanities into a language classroom is no longer a choice, let me tell you, but it's a pandemic-imposed compulsion. A decade earlier, the term digital humanities and its association with language learning would not have been as relevant and a hotly debated issue as it is today, because we were largely unaware of the full scope of the discipline and its potential impact on language pedagogy. The COVID-19 outbreak made us realize the implications and possibilities of digital humanities in shaping English language teaching and learning, a discipline which is content-driven, task-based, collaborative, and communicative. If we examine closely, we find that technology has infused a whiff of fresh air in the methodological and theoretical approaches in developing language pedagogy. This necessitates that humanists as a whole and ELT specialists in particular familiarize themselves with digital humanities. William Pannepecker in 2011 rightly observed, the digital humanities are not some flashy new theories that might go out of fashion. At this point, the digital humanities are the thing. There is no next about it, and it won't be long until digital humanities are quite simply the humanities. The need of the hour is to observe and implement the applications and implications of digital tools in learning and teaching English as a language in a rapidly transforming world. The internet explosion and the pandemic-induced electronic communication thrust upon teaching has reorganized the lives of students and teachers. The impact of digital technology on face-to-face communication has been both qualitative and quantitative on the college-age students who have been thoroughly socialized in the context of the spread of these technologies. Information technology has had a complex effect on how individuals communicate in a digital age. It has been observed that conversation has been sacrificed for connections. Digital technology often fosters a sense of isolation, and in fact, it is in sharp contrast to the notion that it widens social interactions because the real connect of face-to-face conversations is missing. Sherry Twickle, in her book, Reclaiming Conversation, The Power of Talk in a Digital Age, highlights this point that in the digitally invaded means of communication, most people turn to their phones instead of people. She further elaborates that there is a notable flight from conversation and people prefer texting or emailing instead of indulging in face-to-face conversation. The reason she attributes to this is perhaps real people with their unpredictable ways can seem difficult to contend with after one has spent a stretch in simulation. A generation accustomed to a constant feed for connection, information, and entertainment is bored by the imperfection and loss of control involved in face-to-face communication. Hence, we are living in an age of IT revolution. Computers and other kinds of digital devices have transformed the way we live in a way that hasn't happened since maybe Gutenberg printed that Bible. Information technology has also changed the way we do scholarship and research. The kinds of questions we ask as scholars, how we find the answers to them, where we access information, that's all been transformed by information technology. Budrick and Drucker's definition of digital humanities is important because it emphasizes just how much information technology has changed the way we do things. These scholars are pointing out that it's not just Google Maps that's changed how we find the way around. Things like Google Scholar, Wikipedia, Snoop have changed the way we do research and the way we learn. Now, you can do two types of things on the computer. Sure, you can use it to do things like Skype with your grandmother, or write an English essay, or listen to your music collection. But you can also use a computer to help you understand data better. And here we are talking about humanities data specifically. Let's say that you're writing an essay on children in Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey. You've got the book in the digital form and you do a search for the word child or children in the text just to see how many times the word comes up. This type of an activity is completely different from using the computer to Skype with your grandmother. It involves using the computer to conduct research. When you use the computer to conduct research in this way, you are doing humanities computing. It can be as easy as that. Now, what on earth do computers have to do with English literature? A lot, actually. Let's think this through. The study of literature is all about texts, right? And the texts are made up of thousands of words. So far, so good. Well, Computers are really good at analyzing text. They can zip through all these millions of words and find patterns in the blink of an eye. It would rather take you a little brain decades to do that. In a nutshell, digital research methods can help us analyze and understand literary texts more efficiently and more deeply. Of late, the mention of digital humanities has been implicit in every mission statement, every call for paper presentation in national and international conferences, and in practically every curriculum development document. The term digital humanities is invoked in almost all hiring processes. And Wikipedia offers a fairly working definition of digital humanities when it says, digital humanities, also known as humanities computing, is a field of study, research, teaching, and invention concerned with the intersection of computing all the disciplines of humanities. It is methodological by nature and interdisciplinary in scope. It involves investigation, analysis, synthesis, and presentation of information in the electronic form. It studies how these media affect the disciplines in which they are used and what these disciplines have to contribute to our knowledge of computing. To bring digital technology to the English classroom during the pandemic called for a lot of experimentation. Let us now try to understand the trajectory and map the scope and growth of digital humanities in India. In 2016, when P.P. Sneha published Mapping Digital Humanities in India, she mentioned that digital humanities was in incipient stage in India. However, the recent track of alliances, conferences, government collaborations, and research initiatives in the area clearly hint that it has moved on to the progressive stage. Digital humanities requires high technology and funding for effective implementation. So we have organizations like DHAI, which is the Digital Humanities Alliance of India, SPARC, which is the scheme for promoting academic and research collaboration, Imprint, impacting research, innovation, and technology, Impress, which is impactful policy research in social sciences, etc., that invest very heavily in these domains. In fact, archival projects, this is very interesting, archival projects like Madurai, which is the digitized collection of ancient Tamil classics, and Bichitra, which is a digital verorium of Rabindranath Tagore, mark the true genesis of digital humanities in India. Such initiatives open up a plethora of opportunities and open up a new horizon where digital tools can be harnessed to advance scholarly research with the robust digital infrastructure. The biggest benefit of digital humanities is that it engages the teachers and the students more than an average class. It gives the teachers an opportunity to upgrade their overall teaching experience, leading to an enhanced learning experience for the students. It integrates qualitative teaching with quantitative outcomes, much to the benefit of both the stakeholders in the classroom. Teachers can present digitized text, images, multimedia sources like maps, data, visual auditory aids, and interlink them with classroom-based study material. It is easier for them to review and learn remotely, even when they are not able to attend regular classes. They can easily search through various data sources, background materials, and much more. This makes learning experience rich and trouble-free. Another benefit of digital humanities is that it facilitates global collaborations. On an online forum, as today, it's easier and quicker to engage with like-minded people across boundaries and continents. Trends, themes, learnings are shared through digital resources and can provide opportunities for international content management and project developments. It is without doubt that digital humanities leads to improved collaborations on a global scale. Humanities provide us with a high level of insight into human behavior. and evolution of culture and arts. Digitization of humanities gives it a practical edge because the combination of digital and humanities helps to expand our knowledge of what binds the human race together and what makes us different through a professional skill set. In a way, it connects the past, present, and future using reflective and reflexive analysis of modern evolving humanities. Digital humanities has a greater public impact because the theories, the research, the outreach of academic projects extend beyond the regular classrooms due to availability of material on online platforms. This helps in informing and engaging the common public outside the classroom setting, which would otherwise not, who would not otherwise bother to seek information on these projects and debates. This helps build the value of the study of humanities. Distance learning through platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, etc. have made learning easier and flexible. Especially during the COVID-related lockdowns, learning did not halt. Digital platforms ensured that the teachers connected comfortably with their students and guided them in learning like regular schools. Online classes became the norm, which was only possible due to the connect between digitization and humanities. Computer-assisted methods added value to our life, which would not have been possible in any other era. But like everything, it has its own set of challenges. Digital humanities is comparatively a new area that is still in the process of exploring its boundaries. Like any other complex field, it has its own challenges that need to be resolved. Its greatest concern is data security and privacy. Online platforms are rampant with plagiarism and data theft. It is important that a field that prioritizes open content, privacy of all stakeholders is duly protected. At the same time, it is also secured from constant online threats and hackers. Contributors, students, and researchers should feel secure from online threats, and their personally identifiable information also needs to be kept safe from cyber criminals. All technology and practices have a negative impact on the environment. Climate of planet Earth is in a very, very fragile state right now. If digital humanities has to remain humane, it must look into this aspect very closely and find newer ways to reduce the digital and techno trash. Carbon footprints left behind by electronic rubbish must be reduced. Sustainability should be the key word while moving ahead. Maybe new researches can be done to find solution to this mammoth problem. Digital humanities must develop its best practices carefully. It is often found lacking in sensitivity and accuracy while depicting race, gender, and disability. Contributors need to be sufficiently sensitive while describing these contexts. Attention needs to be paid while using alt text descriptions for image and audio that describe race and gender. Inclusiveness towards all human beings is the need of the hour to make this world a better place, and this idea applies to digital humanities as well. Digital labor often goes unacknowledged. Digitization of research work and projects is labor intensive. Project teams, collaborators, contributors all need to be duly acknowledged and financially compensated for their efforts. I would like to conclude by asking the final question. Has digitization helped the study of humanities become respectable, or has it undermined its status? The last few decades have ushered in an era of digital revolution. In the new millennium, the flow of knowledge is no longer unidimensional and linear. Teaching learning is no longer confined to the four walls of the classrooms. Internet has made the online world a goldmine of knowledge and data storage. Personal computing has improved the accessibility of research and study material manifold. We need to comprehend that liberal arts and science are not polar opposites. In every era where science has progressed, humanities has also grown in leaps and bounds. Their ultimate united aim is to improve the quality of life of human beings, which they are doing splendidly. Coexistence of both the streams has ensured that the reach and research in every field has the best chance of reaching out to the public and helping them. Digitization and humanities are not competitors, they are just different. Our skepticism needs to give way to a more inclusive outlook towards digitized research and methodologies. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, it was really a golden opportunity for us to interact with such a great personality like you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for showing us a way towards our success through your words. Thank you so much, ma'am.